Well, hello there, brothers and sisters of WoT Blitz Universe. You're watching WoT Blitz Addict again. Welcome back to the channel. First of all, I just want to thank you all for subscribing to my channel because we almost reached 450 subs, and my 500 subs special video is waiting on my channel till we reach that number. So if you want to help me out, please consider subscribing to my channel. By the way, you may seen that I tried to do some live streams, but unfortunately streaming software, the mobile streaming software, is a bit fussy and it's not that easy to do it well, and I don't want to give you nothing more than decent content, so I hope you all may understand why I'm not streaming yet. But let's get back to the topic of today's video. As you can see, we're gonna talk about the Helsing, the king of tier 7 in par with Dracula when it first came out. But today, in today's meta, this tank is still a decent one and it can rule the battlefield, but not as OP as it used to be. Still a great tank, and this camo looks so sexy. I mean, I had this camo from the event that when it was first introduced, but I haven't got the tank, and I got the tank from the snow globe this year on Christmas event. So I just gave it a go because I wanted to use this tank and try it, as well as the Dracula. Unfortunately, I had to buy the Dracula for over 12k gold, which is ridiculous, but simply I hold back for a couple of years just to get it. But there's no other way to buy it straight for gold other than the Christmas event, because the crates aren't great and I'm really not willing to spend my money on gambling. I did it for the smasher and that's all I did. That was it basically. And if you see my videos, in most of my videos I'm just telling you that it's not worth gambling. I did some crate openings, so if you're interested in it, you mainly got nothing from those crates, and even if you get anything from them, most probably you spend more than you would if you would buy it for gold. Or maybe you're extremely lucky and got it from first 1 or 2 or 3 crates, then good for you, but believe me, that's just pure luck. Okay, so let us just check how to equip the tank, at least how I am equipping the tank, and let's go and talk about the tank itself while watching some gameplay. So as you can see, I'm using multi-purpose restoration pack, I'm using repair kit and engine power boost because it's a clipper, field rations, protective kit and improved fuel. For ammo loadout, I'm using mostly AP 69 rounds, 21 APCR rounds and 10 HE rounds, because HE is quite good and you can use it quite well. Just aim at proper targets. Also, I'm using calibrated shells. As I told you, the pen isn't the greatest, so it's worth using calibrated shells on this tank, in my opinion, of course. So you can go for the ventilations, of course, if you want to. Enhanced gun laying drive and refined gun. But it depends if you want to play it like a TD, sniping, refined gun. Otherwise, you can use the other consumable, which is the vertical stabilizer. Also, defense system, you won't be ramming. Improved assembly because it's trollish but not strong. Toolbox, camouflage net, but you can go with the optics if you want to play it more aggressively. I will talk about it a bit later on, but I'm using camouflage net. Engine accelerator because the speed is a key in this tank, and the traverse speed is enough. In general, that's why it's better to use engine accelerator. And I'm going for high-end consumables, but I will probably switch it to consumable delivery system because you don't use adrenaline on this tank, because you simply can't. And now let's check the armor profile. So as you can see, we are facing the SU-12244, and I wanted to show you that even against calibrated shells and TD shells, this tank has so trollish armor you can really bounce many shells. As you can see, the front upper plate is so steeply angled, you have pretty darn big gun mantlet, which is also great, and that means you will bounce a lot of shells on your turret. Other than that, the sights are pretty strong, but only against the medium tanks. I'm gonna show you in a second. Let's switch to something different. Let's say T43. Okay, so now we can see that armor profile is even stronger against medium tanks, and your mobility gives you advantage and gives you a chance to be as fast as the medium, even faster. So that means you can be a close support to the medium tanks. And you see simply that this armor, even though it's not extremely strong, it's very, very trollish. Other than that, you have some spaced armor on the sides, you have some spaced armor on the turret itself. I'm gonna show you in a second how it looks. I mean, the back of the turret isn't spectacularly strong, but let's look at the spaced armors. As you can see, you have those side skirts, which are spaced armor. You also have this gun mantlet with those tiny beads on the front next to the gun, which are also treated as the spaced armor, which is really, really great because it also gives you a protection to your turret. And sometimes a lucky bullet can hit it instead of hitting your weak turret, because other than that spaced armor, you don't have much armor on the turret. So now let's check the gameplay, and I will talk about how I'm playing the tank and how it's performing. As you can see, it's going really, really fast, and you can outperform the medium tanks on tier 7 with your speed. And with the trollish armor, that means you simply don't have to be a TD. Of course, if you are a bottom tier, I will advise you to be simply a second line support or just camping a bush. But if you are a top tier in a top tier matchmaking, that means that your armor will really stand a chance against the enemy heavies and mediums. Of course, like I told you, the TD is not that much, but still it can bounce some shells. Unfortunately, this tank has only 6 degrees of gun depression, and that means that you can't really work on that ridge lines like you could with more gun depression. But on the other side, if it had more gun depression, it would be so broken, because the gun mantle is so big, it would be bouncing a lot of shells. And as you can see, the mobility is really, really great. The only downside of this tank, I would say, is the traverse speed on the turret, because as you can see, the turret is traversing so slowly. And in many cases you will find out that one of those 2 shells, because it has 2 shells that will go just unload straight on, you don't have to shoot twice, and one of them could be missing, and that happened to me many times. And yeah, that can be really annoying sometimes. Also, this gun wobbles a bit. If you're going up the hill and you're using your gun depression and you then stopping, the gun is wobbling for a short period of time, but that is kind of trollish sometimes, and you need to take it under consideration while you're shooting on the move, or just trying to hit the shots as soon as you will hold. That's the problem. But you will see, I think it happened in one of those games. But other than that, as you can see, I'm really, really aggressive in this tank, and that's why I told you that you may use optics instead of camo net, because if you are an aggressive player and you play like a medium tank, you are in close combat in second line, because it's not the first line tank, front line tank. Even though it has nice DPM, it really reloads very fast and has like 400 average damage, and that's what I told you about HE. If you use HE, you can deal almost 600 damage in those 2 shells, and that means you can basically clip out some tanks that you wouldn't be able to clip out if you are using your AP, which is great. And the penetration values aren't the greatest, aren't spectacular. Oh, here's the wobbling thing. I mean, if you saw it, maybe you didn't, you can just rewind back and just look at it in the slow-mo. That the gun wobbles a bit, and that's kind of annoying sometimes. But other than that, as you can see, I'm using my tank as a medium tank. I'm just flanking around. Even though my turret traverse isn't great, The reload is okay. Of course, you can miss one of your shells, and that can be a problem when you hit one and you are unable to kill your opponent because the other shell simply missed the target. But really, with this DPM in this mobility, that's not really that much of a trouble, because you can also relocate very fast. You can be everywhere. As you can see, we had only second class with almost 3k damage and 4 kills, and pretty nice base XP for a tier 7, almost 1100. And same in this game, we're gonna be as spotters for our team, because as you can see, we have 2 mediums, but when I saw how they willing to play this game, I decided to, you know what, I told to my clanmate Kizmarian, which is driving the HTC in this game, and he's tuning with me because we are sitting on Discord, and I simply told him, you know what, I'm gonna simply try to spot some tanks, then I will use my mobility to join you. But he decided to push the heavy side, and he will die, of course, but his his dying would give me a chance to just farm some damage, because he's holding the whole flank, the whole heavy flank, so I can just check what's going on the minimap. Unfortunately, this annihilator had so much luck, and like I told you, those 2 shells, especially on long distances, aren't really that much accurate. That's why I'm not trying to play it as a regular TD. I'm trying to be in the mid-range as a second line support tank, sometimes in the front line, sometimes just flanking as a medium. This tank can be really fun and very useful when you're going around. I mean, look how fast it goes up to speed. And even though I have slow traverse speed, I will load HE. As you can see, almost 600 damage on this Nashorn, and then he goes. That's why it's good to have some HE, because on those targets you can easily deal with them with HE, and other than that I wouldn't be able to kill him, but that gave me this edge of advantage to kill him in my 2 shells. Nashorn has great DPM. I would lose a lot of HP if I haven't been able to kill him in one salvo. And now we're gonna deal with the Lycan. I could be more aggressive in this game. When I'm watching this replay again, I could be way more aggressive. There's only 3 tanks in the enemy team, and I'm almost full HP. I have nice DPM. I could easily help my team, and probably this our Smasher would survive this. Unfortunately, he won't, but it's still almost over for the enemy team. And you will see the mobility of this tank. I mean, even though my like I told you, my turret traverse isn't great, look how fast this tank is. I'm just going around this like a medium tank, and I will try to bait out the shots out of him. Unfortunately, he's gonna hit me, but that doesn't change a thing. I just need to make my shots count. And there's only 1 enemy left. I could stay there. Annihilator, of course, can clip me out in one salvo, but probably it's gonna be he would bounce at least 1 shell. I mean, this armor is so trollish. Even though it's not very thick, it's angled, and it's really trollish, especially at distance. So we got another second class with 3 kills, 2.5k damage, and only 953 base XP. And that's basically it for this episode, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to join my Discord, the link is in the description below, same as my Facebook profile. Take care, bye bye, and catch you all on the battlefield.